when people really connect to a song, like playing Brother live, like the crowd is almost louder than we are.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. Blake, thank you so much for your time today. Usually I talk to people before an album release. We talk after the album's out. This is it, the end of everything. Well, I mean, let's all just assume straight away that it's not the end of everything. But, you know, living up to release is crazy. And then spending those few days, few weeks after, and you get to digest everything. How different are you today from me? Should I have talked to you like 3 weeks ago before the album came out? Like, is that a big difference for you?
No. And, you know, well, I guess yes. I'm always kind of a nervous wreck leading up to releasing an album. So now that it's out and the response has been so great, I'm kind of relieved a little bit. So yeah, maybe I would have had a little bit slightly different answers, you know, before, but you know, I'm stoked now.
Yeah. Now, just like for you, I mean, a lot happened obviously with the previous release, and things kind of shifted into higher gear. For you, as you look back now, I mean, I know you've been doing this for a long time, or just making music, this band. Saul, should we look at Saul as a band that's been around for 14 years, or is what the band is today, is that a 4-year-old band? If you see what I mean, like, what's that for you?
Yeah. Really, I would look at it as like a 4-year-old band. So Zach and I, we've been playing music together. My brother and I is the guitar player. So we've been playing music together for a long time. But we really didn't really hit our stride, and we got new members and everything in 18 and 19. So it's like a 4-year-old band. We started fresh, new sound. So yeah, I really consider it, you know, to be a 4-year-old band.
So 4 years ago, the what the band is today kind of is formalized. You guys do independent release, you get good traction. Obviously, there's a great traction to the song Brother. It all seems like we're ready to go, and boom, now you have to sit at home for 2 years. So your timing really sucked, basically.
Yeah, it really did.
So, nevertheless, though, the fact that and that one song definitely had a lot to do with that. But how different is this experience for you now, where you find yourself surrounded by top teams? You know, you're with a great label, you've got PR teams surrounding you. Like, releasing this album before versus the previous work, like, how different has that experience been?
You know, when we released Rise as Equals, we were leading up, you know, Revolver, you know, Loudwire, everybody's like the next big act, the next big thing. And then, like you said, boom, everything just came to a stop. When we were leading up to that thing, we were supposed to be out with Hell Yeah and All That Remains, supporting the record, and doing all this. So when all of that shut down, we thought, like, we just tanked. Everything just dropped out from, you know, the floor dropped out. So now with releasing this record, and we've been out supporting it with Memphis Mayfire, Norma Jean. Now this fall, we're going out to support it with Red. We really feel like the wheels are back on the bus, you know what I mean? And everything's actually moving in the right direction. So honestly, we just feel so much better about this release. Like, almost like we redid everything again. Like it's a new, you know what I mean? Like it's our debut record again. So that really feels good in that aspect for sure.
The first thing that I want to applaud you for is so Tooth and Nail starts with this intro, a really cool setting the vibe, and what I really like about it is that it's only 15 seconds. So many bands these days is like, okay, yeah, the first song is 2.5 minutes of setting that vibe and that intro, and I'm really glad you guys didn't do that, and you don't lose kind of like the energy of that. Conscious decision when you were thinking about it?
No, it was just we just thought it was a really cool way to intro the album and do it that way. And like when I come to like songwriting and stuff, I cut a lot of fat. Like I just like, let's just get to the point. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes. Let's, you know. So that's just one thing that we do. And And I'm glad you brought that song up, because that vocal part that's going on, that's actually mine and my brother Zach's daughter singing that
Oh,
vocal
really?
part.
Oh,
So
that's so
yeah, so
cute.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So basically, what we know from now is that, the new generation of your family has a very creepy sound. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yes, I'll
Do
tell
you
the
find
girls.
yourself like waking up in the house and you just hear your daughter like singing like this ominous tune? And
Yeah, no, she's generally singing the songs from Encanto, the movie. I don't know what she's doing. She's crazy.
yeah. Maybe this is the perfect time to then talk a little bit about the lyrical themes, because we go from
Mhm.
family and clearly having a close connection and being very important to that, but then when we actually look into the record, you know not the happiest rainbow, lollipops and what have you.
Yeah,
This album deals about apathy in society, a lack of connection.
yeah.
The album takes on a pretty wild ride, and then when we get to like the tail end of the album, um it didn't really take us in an arc to a happier ending. It ends
Mhm.
pretty bleak, so no happy ending in sight right now.
We're pretty happy. We're happy with the way things are going right now, but not all stories have happy endings, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. So if the album's one
Reality.
big story, yeah, real life, yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah. With this album, we really dove into a lot of songs have a lot of very, very personal connections. I mean, we write everything from a very introspective, personal connection to us,
Hmm.
and so every song has that different vibe. But we really dove into the idea of the disconnect that people have on like songs like A Million Miles, Last Parade, um, stuff like that. And then I wrote some really, really personal songs like Us AD on this record. Us AD and No Mercy have this really like, it's about losing my mom and my brother that we wrote Brother about, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
but a song like No Mercy, when I'm saying give me two for flinching, I'm still alive, just telling the world, telling the universe that, I can take what you got coming to me because you've already given me a lot. You've already beaten me
Right.
down and I can take it. Um, Songs like Us AD, I really wrote about losing my mom in 2019, and I kind of wrote it from my dad's perspective, about their kind of life and what it's like, us after death. So it's like it's kind of how he has to carry on and do the thing. So this album really, just like Rises Equals, we write everything very personal and um, coming from a guy that's not a very like emotional guy. I don't show a lot of emotions. You know what I mean? I bury things deep down. So when we do songs for a record and I let everything out there, that's what makes me so nervous. I'm like, they're gonna hate what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
feeling or
yeah.
thinking. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad we have that outlet, and the response has been so great though.
Do you find, if you don't mind me asking, that with your father being in this band and channeling those thoughts through your music, has that made you closer?
We've always been close. My dad's one of my best friends. My parents were just really cool, good people. So that my dad's like our biggest fan. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we're always doing something together. So it's cool.
I'd be better as a memory.
It can be scary to share so open, but is it then even more weird than scary when you see people reacting to it, sharing with them what that song means to them, or interpreting your lyrics in a way that completely was not intended? How is that for you when it's such personal material?
I love it because honestly, when I write it from such a personal spot and then somebody comes back and either it's like relating to the same thing or it's like they spun it in their own way that helped them. And it's like, it makes me feel really good that that connection is there, even if it's not intended for what I wrote the song
Right.
for. It makes me feel really good because somebody will say like, that song got me through some really tough times. It's about my breakup that I had with my girlfriend. You wrote that song for me, kind of thing. You know what I mean, or
Hmm.
something
Yeah, yeah.
along those lines. And I'm just like, I just do the hugs and handshakes and everything, and it just feels really good. And when people really connect to a song, like playing Brother live, like the crowd is almost louder than we are.
Right.
singing the song back to us. And that was such a deep song for us that when we released a song like that and then people started singing that and then coming up and telling us stories and messaging us and like, I lost my brother, I lost my best friend, I lost my dad and or my mother, and like, just having that connection. I mean, it's a real thing, and it's something we don't strive for, but writing for such from a personal spot that people connect to that. And it's one thing that we say is like, let's write from such a real spot in our lives that it's like a lifelong song for somebody else. It defines a moment for them, or it defines a moment in just that moment for that month that this was happening. So that's something that we try to focus on just writing from such a personal spot that it really makes that connection.
Do we feel the need to scream when it brings us only pain?
That crowd that makes that connection, that response to you. You guys also started calling them the Equals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So want to ask you about this, because what's the mantra around the Equals? Because I mean, you come from a very personal, genuine search for connection with them. You clearly care a lot about your fans, but then in certain songs, let's Rain Fire, for example. If I listen to the lyrics properly, I do believe that there's some less than positive comments about people referred to as equals. Where it's like, hey, you guys used me. You have to kneel now because I'm gonna rain some fire on you, and we're not on the same side. I'm gonna assume you're not talking about your fans there.
No, not specifically, not all the fans. No, it was a select few of people that really tried to take advantage of us, and they were, they tried starting PayPal's in the Saul name and like doing this stuff, doing all this weird stuff. So it was directed. That's why the only bridges I've seen burned started, ignited from the other side, and like, you burnt this bridge and stuff. So that was not a happy song. It didn't come from a happy place.
No, that's clear.
Yeah.
Cause deep down you know life is better as a memory.
Now, you guys bring what I'm gonna describe as a European living in Canada as an American sound, and we saw in the mid 2000s, we saw like a rising popularity of what was called kind of like new wave of American metal at the time, with the Lamb of Gods and Trivium and some other bands were looped into that. But then the early 2010s, to me, kind of felt like, okay, a lot of real American bands with a modern American sound, whatever that really is, really focusing on the home market of the United States, and then in Europe and South America, different kinds of heavier music and metal kind of became popular again and took over a little bit more traditional maybe. Now it seems like we're kind of riding that wave again, where bands like you guys, but like Ice Nine Kills, I Prevail, Archetypes Collide, bringing that sound to Europe and other parts of the world with quite some success. So it seems that the whole world is kind of open more to this more modern sounding, that big heavy rock. What do you see that as well? Do you feel with the new material that's been put out that you're starting to see more people from places that you totally didn't expect react to it? That you get fans in parts of the world that before may have not really been the focus?
Yeah, that's great, honestly, because just looking at like our Spotify streams and like our like YouTube messages and stuff like that coming in, we get a lot of like UK, a lot of Germany messages coming in. We've been getting a lot of messages from like Brazil area too. So it's reaching these different markets that one being a small town Midwest guy in America, that you didn't think you'll ever reach anyway. You know what I mean? That kind of feeling. So these people come in and like, you have to come to Brazil because I love, whatever. You have to come to Germany, and like showing the Spotify streams that are like matching these kind of locations, that it's like real. Like, it's not just one person. It's, it's a lot of people. It's a great feeling. And like, we honestly cannot wait to get over to like UK and down in South America and everything, because we just think it'd be great. I have some really good friends, Pat and Soka Moss, and she's a German native, you know, and lived over here the last, you know, 30 years or whatever. But they go back every year and do that stuff, and they're always promoting us over there. And her sister actually started a fan club for us in Germany and everything. So it's like it's really cool. It's really cool, actually. I don't know what else to say. We can't wait to get over into Europe and South America.
Everybody watching this interview, you know, there's obviously a lot of new material for you guys to promote, and you've got some songs that you'll have to play from previous work as well. But everybody watching this, what can we expect from that show?
It's going to be banging. I mean, we're going to come in. We're doing direct support with Red. We're doing all of September and then all of November with Red. And it's just going to be, we're going to come in swinging. You're going to hear the ones that you love, you know, Brother, King of Misery, Looking to Fight, you know, Trial by Fire. You're going to hear that, plus all the new singles and everything. So we're going to be mixing it up, having every element. And it's just going to be, we're just going to come in and swing for the fences and just go real hard, real hard.
There you go. There you go. See, swing for the fences. Reference all your new fans in Europe may have no clue where that comes from. But
yeah.
Baseball just isn't that big.
Baseball,
right?
yeah. Maybe Japan, they play.
There you go. There you go. For sure. Awesome. Well, hey, Blake, I wish you guys all the best with the continuous release of this album, and have a fantastic tour in the fall. And then we'll keep our eyes open and fingers crossed for more updates, and we hope obviously that you can take the show on the road up here, Canada, Europe, Brazil, Japan, all those fun places. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it, and subscribe to the channel.